so let's get started. So, hi everybody. My name is Amanda. I'm one of the training consultants here at Inspect Real Estate. On the panel this afternoon, assisting with any of your questions, we have Alex, Will, and Anna. So again, thank you for joining us today. As we sunset the old UI on the 6th of December, we're now entering into a new UI, new phase, and we're thrilled to have you here for this exciting webinar and walk you through the new and improved interface at Inspect Real Estate. So change is always an opportunity for growth, but it also can be very scary. Here at Inspect Real Estate, we're committing to make your experience seamless, efficient, and user-friendly as possible. I personally used to use the old UI in my previous role when I was in real estate. And our office made a collective decision some time ago to have everybody use a new UI. And boy, I was scared because I was so used to the old UI. I knew where everything was, and I knew IRE back to front. Now that I've used it for some time, I can't go back. So I do understand that you might all be a little bit fearful of the change, but once you get used to the change, I'm sure you're going to love it. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So at any time during the webinar, if you do have any questions, we do have a chat box where Will, Alex, and Anna will be able to answer any questions that you have. So please feel free to add that in there. That will be monitored during the session. We will also have some interactive polls that I would really love your participation with because it's a good way to get you engaged and involved and have a little bit of fun along the way. During today's session, we're going to be running through the system views and customization, general navigation. We're going to talk about the create new button. I'm going to direct you where the settings and messages are going to be sitting, and we're going to briefly touch on the applications. There are two parts of this webinar. Today is the first session. We do have another one coming up that we will focus on to apply, but I will navigate you in this section where you would go for your applications. So before we get started, I'm going to pop in a poll. Now, just asking everyone on this session who has seen the new UI, who has started using, who started using it. We've got 93% of you have seen it, or 82. We've got this, oh, the numbers are moving quite fast, which is interesting. So we've got quite a few that haven't, and we've got quite a few that have. So that's really good. I'll leave the poll up for another 30 seconds, and then I'll close that off. Fantastic. Okay, so thanks for answering. That's really, really interesting. We've got quite a few people that have seen the new UI, and we've got, quite a few people that have yet to see it. So whilst we're here and what we're waiting for is for us to start using and sort of seeing where and how we're going to use a new UI. Alrighty. So just bear with me one moment. You can now see the Inspect Real Estate screen on your screen. So let's get started. Okay. So the new UI has a completely different feel and layout. The main difference the main difference I think that you're going to be seeing apart from the colors is that you can see all the products and menu options down the left-hand side of the screen. So you can see my mouse moving along to the left-hand side of the screen. There are also some new features that we'll take a look at. Now, I guess the idea of this new UI is to make things quite easy to navigate. So customizing your favorites, which I'm going to show you how to do in a moment, and using your global search bar as well as the create new button is going to save you a lot of clicks as you're using the system. So let's have a look at the navigation. So up on the top here, we've got our global search bar. So if you start typing for a particular property, you'll see that all of your rental properties will appear now. Also, this is quite a broad, we're focusing on lettings, the new UI on letting. If you do have other products, I will touch on them, briefly. But as you can see, as I'm going through, I can see some management leads. So if you do have our BDM product, you'll also find that there. So the global search bar, you'll be able to search for properties, people, applications, and more simply by just typing. You can click into the actual property and it's going to give you a range of information from here. So it's one way that you can find your property information. It's going to show you things like how many people have indicated that they're applying for a property, if we have any applications, how many people are waiting for an inspection, who's not registered, any future inspections, past inspections. You'll be able to also see any reporting, if there's been any price views, weekly owner reports, and more. So global search bar, if you wanted to find your properties, applications, and more, it will take you directly into the property. Okay, so we were up on the global search bar. In your system now, because I'm in a training system, I don't have this button, but you will find this orange button up the top here. You will see it will say support. If you needed to get in touch with our support team, you can click on an orange button here that will be named support. We've got our Find Me and Tenant app features where you can directly click into Find Me a Tenant and go directly into Tenant app. And what we have here is our create new button. So as you would know it as Quick Reg, this is where you would go now to the create new. So if I click on create new, you're going to be on this create new button quite often because there's so many actions that you can do from this create new button. Now, depending on the products that you have, we'll focus on the letting part so far. So if we'd like to register a tenant, we can click on register for inspection. So we can register a tenant from here. I'm going to come back into this a little bit later on in the webinar, but quick registration you can find here. New rental inspection. If you are booking your inspections from Inspect Real Estate, this is where you can book in your rentals and also your sales inspections if you're using our CRM. If you are using our uploader, this is where you can go now to list and relist properties. As well as for our BDM product users, this is where you can manually add in any new prospective landlords. We've also got our send apply link button from here. And if you needed to add in a new application manually, you could do that also. So the create new button is going to be your new best friend. No more clicking on that blue quick reg. You will just come to the create new up on the top right hand side and you'll be able to do your actions from this spot. Let's move along to the sidebar menu. So as you can see, the sidebar menu has basically been collated and all of your products have now been grouped. You'll see here we've got our favorites page. So you can bookmark pages, formerly known as the star in the old UI. This is where you can start bookmarking your favorites, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. Our dashboard, which I'm on at the moment, and now you'll probably see that I can see this orange banner here, and the product that I'm in is in this light orange button. So I can say, okay, I know that I'm in my dashboard, for example. The dashboard, you can filter through to different staff members. You can also customize your dashboard to look however you like. Generally, when you log in into the new UI and you're in your dashboard, these will be closed. If you'd like to customize these so they're always open, you simply click on the customize button. And then you can, under the letting product, you can have it hidden, open, or closed. If you scroll down, it would be the same with your applications. Depending on the products and what products you have, if you have new business or our BDM product or keys, you can have it visible or hidden. And what will happen is if I do have my new business product, I I can click in there and it's going to take me to my BDM screen. As well as with my keys, it's a quick navigation to click to keys and it will take me directly to keyware. So that's in our dashboard. These particular buckets, they are clickable. So if I wanted to see how many people have not registered for an inspection, I can click on that and I can quickly see that 480 Clarendon Street, we've got one person that hasn't registered. Or how many inquiries are in the last 5 days, I can start seeing that information down below. So it just depends on how you would like to utilize this, but these are clickable for you to receive the information down below. Same with your applications. With your applications, you can click on the number 2 and you can see how many new apps that you've got, how many apps, for example, that have had no status change in the last 48 hours, and apps that are more than 1 day old. If I actually click on that, it's going to take me directly to the application. So again, very easy, seamless to use. Continuing on the sidebar menu, so we've just touched on the dashboard, you can see my products are grouped. So letting, if I click on the letting product, you can see I have my inspection summary screen, inspections, inquiries, applications, and find me a tenant all on the left-hand side. You would be used to seeing everything up on the top, whereas now you'll see everything on the left. We're going to come back to the lettings product. Same with IRE BDM. You're using this product, you'll be able to see that everything is group and collated per product. If you're using sales keys, if you're using our uploader, or if you'd like to see all of your properties that are in the system, click on properties, rentals. You'll be able to see all of your rental properties, as well as sales. And our uploader product now sits in properties uploader. Left-hand side under people, team. This is where all of your team are sitting. So you can see your teams list, transfer portfolios if you need to import settings. If you've integrated your Office 365 or whatever calendar you're using and you're syncing it with Inspect Real Estate, this is how you can do that now. If you don't have that synced, feel free to pop it in the chat and we can direct you to the support team to get that integrated for you. So that when you're booking inspections from Inspect Real Estate, it can sync with your Office 365. If you need to update your signature templates, this is where you're going to find them. So people team. Now, some agents that use our system like to actually favorite this page because it's a page that you might be on quite often. So to favorite your page or to star, click on add favorite page. Like in the old UI, you can click on this little pencil and you can rename what you're starring as well. If you are using our products console, which we integrate with, this is where you can find how you can integrate your products together. Again, if you don't have Inspect Real Estate integrated with console and you are a console client, please make sure you reach out to us so that we can get that integrated for you. But this is where you can find that there. Left-hand side, we've got our reports, messaging, settings, and help, which we're going to come through this section a little bit later on in the webinar. Moving along, we're going to talk about general navigation in the letting inspection summary screen and some of the things that have changed. Not a great deal has changed, so don't panic too much with that. If we come on the left-hand side to letting inspection summary. Now, this is a page that I'm assuming you are on quite frequently to keep track of how many people are waiting for your inspections, how many people have registered or not registered, or if you're doing tenant matches. Again, left-hand side to save you clicks, add it to your favorites. We still have our column choosers where you can rearrange your columns to look like mine. Think about this as your fancy Excel spreadsheet and click save once you have rearranged that. We also have our pin column here. And once I pin, when I'm scrolling across, I'm not losing sight of the address. Now, in the letting inspection summary screen, if I scroll across to the right, you'll notice that there's quite a few tabs missing. In the old UI, you had sections where you can send out your owner reporting, where you can register tenants, etc. Now in the new UI, on the right-hand side, you have these three dots. So anywhere where you're in Inspect Real Estate and you see three dots, they're essentially actions. So if I click on the three dots, this is where I can register a tenant directly for this particular property. I can use Find Me a Tenant. I can also review and send my owner report from this section. So rather than having that all in the one screen, like in the old UI, it's consolidated. You can click on the three dots and you can do these actions here. These numbers, as you know, are clickable. So if I click into this number one, for example, I can see my tenant inquiry. Again, you have your column chooser where you can rearrange your column and you've got your pin columns. One thing that we would recommend, and maybe this is a good time for a little bit of a refresher, is bring your tenant message up to the forefront. If this particular tenant has made an inquiry and asked for something specific within his inquiry or their inquiry for this particular property, what you can do is you can select. Now you would be used to tenant action, I believe, up on the top. You don't have to do that anymore. All you would do is select, and you have these icons here as to actions you can do. So you can read advise of times, you can make the client inactive from here, or you can email directly. So nothing's changed in the sense of what this looks like. You can still load your templates. You can start typing in a message and click send. And you've got your call notes. We're going to come back into inquiry and adding in inquiries and inquiry management a little bit later on. I guess the point of that is in your inspection summary screen, as you know, these are clickable and you've got your action where you can select and do these actions from here. So sticking to the left-hand side, we do have our applications page. So a little bit of still keeping in with navigation with the applications, this has changed. So lettings, applications, applications. Now there's two sections of the applications and it depends on how your office works. So if you have, for example, leasing consultants or reception that process or admin who process all of your applications, we do have a thing called a streamline view, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But under this applications tab, you're seeing all applications for all properties. These are customizable. Again, your column chooser and pin column. You have current, which is your current apps. And if you wanted to see all of your apps for the last 90 days, you can click on this drop down and you can see all of your apps and the statuses. You can click into the particular app and it's going to take you into that application. You've also got the three dots where you can do certain actions with there as well. On the left, we've got our properties tab. I would come to my favorites and again, add this to my favorites page. Bring the current apps to the forefront via the column chooser. And if I click on this view to apps, it's going to take us to the streamline view. Again, we're going to go through this in a lot more detail in our next webinar. But what you're seeing on this streamline view is certain things like if someone has applied with your agency before, whether it was, 12 months ago or it's 2 years and then they've applied again, you'll be able to see the connected apps and the statuses of their particular applications and what happened with their previous applications. You can see things like their affordability ratio at a quick glance, how old the app when they want to move in. You can also work through your statuses, view their references. Now we do have features of automatic references. If you're not aware of that, automatic references can be sent from the system and you can quickly view them there. You can shortlist apps and then you can view your applications from here. So a lot from that particular screen and section. I'm just having a look at the chat. I can see that Will has had quite a few questions about downloading applications. So thanks for filling that out. Again, we will go through that in a lot more detail when we go to our next webinar. So moving along to adding in and managing our inquiries. As we all know, so if I just come on the left-hand side and click on inquiries, as we all know, Inspect Real Estate manages your inquiries using methods such as your book inspection button on your web portals, manual entry, or feeding from your websites. They're all captured into this one central location of Inspect Real Estate. Managing your inquiries are simple because there's a lot of automation that goes out from the system, but depending on your office setup and how active you are with your tenants, I'm going to show you how you can actively manage your inquiries in the new UI. So as I mentioned earlier, you may be familiar with the button tenant action. In the old UI, you no longer need that in the new, or use the new tenant inquiry button, because this can all be done. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. This can all be done via the Create New button. So click on Create New Rental Inspection, Register for an Inspection. This screen looks exactly the same. So a couple of things from here, when you're adding in an inquiry, you can add in an inquiry for a particular property, same way by clicking the property address, starting with their mobile. Now, if you're not aware, if you always start with their mobile number and they have inquired within the system before, if you click on this little swirly button, their details will automatically populate. You can add any tenant comments. These are visible to owner, and you can visible to tenant, and you can also add any agent notes. Now, if there's an inspection, you can register them, as you know, from this section down below, or you can send them the registration link. They can then register for the inspection themselves. So an automated message has gone out. If you like to add in a prospect, this is where you can add in your prospect. So same thing, create new, register for an inspection. This add prospect button will come up. Same, search add, and you can start adding in the details. Now this tenant is already in the system, but you'll see that it's exactly the same as the old UI. Now on the left-hand side, if I move to my inquiries tab here, now whenever you are clicking into any of these tabs here, for example, inquiries tenants, I can see these tabs, but you can also see them up on the top. So again, we can rearrange our columns from this section and also pin our columns. Now, some people may like to know where their source of their inquiries are coming from. You do have your follow-up dates where you can still add in follow-up dates and click save. And then you've got your tenant message, any messages that have come through from the advertisement, you'll see that. If I scroll across, I can see the status of their inquiry, their name, the property address, and the status of their group. Again, you can scroll across. A lot of the tabs are still the same. What I do want to show you is these 3 action dots. So from these action dots, you can do a couple of things. You can make a tenant inactive. You can send an inspection invite. You can merge tenants, and you can also see their full contact card. And you can also edit the information. So again, it's consolidated your screen, but you do have these 3 dots where you can do these actions. Now, if I just go back to my inspection summary screen via my favorites, if I wanted to have a look at my total inquiries via per property, I can do that as well. So if I click on this number 3, it's going to take me to all of the inquiries for that particular property. Again, it just basically, it just basically works through the same way. What you can actually do is bulk select. You can re-advise of times. You can contact the tenants via email, and you can also add call notes. So if I'd like to bulk select everybody and click on the little envelope, I can still load my template. So nothing's changed here. Looks the same. I can start typing and I can click send. If I bulk select and I want to update the call notes, I can click on this little plus paper icon and update in bulk. Excuse the spelling. I know when people are watching me, I tend to misspell my words. Tenants advise that shed not included, for example. And I'm going to click save. So now that has updated my call notes. So again, I was in the letting inspection summary screen. I click on any of these numbers or total inquiries. If I go to my letting inquiries tenants, same thing, page selector, I can bulk select and email everybody, or I can bulk select and add in my call notes for everyone. On the right-hand side here, let's go into this particular tenant. So again, if I'd like to make them inactive, this is where I go. And if I want to see my full contact card, nothing's changed with this. It's still the same. So if I wanted to add in any tenant comments, call notes, add any inspections, or mark as inactive, I can do that. Down below, I still have the features of seeing the other inquiries that they've inquired about, or their property preferences, or property matches, where I can select and I can email them a list, or I can email them the list of properties that we've got available. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a moment there, and I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat where I know that the team are answering all of your questions. We will run through where the new UI is. I know I have a couple of questions there in terms of the run wizard. We will be coming back to that. Don't you worry. It's one of my favorite features as well. So I hope that you're starting all to feel a little bit more comfortable with the Create New button. So again, let's do a bit of a recap. Create new rental inspections, depending on the products you have. Uploader, you can list and relist. If you're using our BDM product, you can add in our landlords, register your inspections or register for tenants for their inspections, as well as prospecting, sending the to apply link, adding a new inspection, or your key loans. Up on the top, we have our global search bar where you can start typing and searching for your properties up on the top. On the left-hand side, we've got our favorites page, which is the star icon. You've got this pencil that still hasn't changed where you can rename that. Our dashboard and our letting products here. Now, I am going to pop in a poll. So just bear with me one moment. So this particular poll is asking you, because we're going to move into inspections and where you can find and do certain things with your inspections. So I'm just going to launch a poll. And basically what I'm asking is, do you upload your inspections via InspectRealEstate or via your external uploader? So let's have a look. Let's see. Wow, awesome. We've got a lot in IRE, which is cool. I'll give it another couple of minutes. Not minutes, we'll give it another 10, 20 seconds. We'll get you to finish adding these in. Excellent. Okay. Awesome. So it looks like we've got 80% of you that are adding in your inspections via InspectRealEstate or via a separate uploader, which is cool. That's really good to know, because in the next section, next section, I should say, what we'll be going to go through is part of the inspections, how to manage and add in your inspections. So let's have a look at that. Depending on your office, you may upload your inspections to Inspect Real Estate, giving the ability for tenants to book inspections so you can keep them up to date with cancelling, running late for inspections. If inspections have been cancelled, then you don't have your times publicly advertised. You can communicate that with your tenants. Let me show you how to cancel your inspection, change times. We're also going to run through the multi-run wizard and the run wizard, and where you can find it in the new UI. So left-hand side, inspections. This is where all of your inspections are going to be sitting. So up on the top, in the orange, you can see that down below, these are the inspections that I've got coming up. The 3 action dots. If I want to cancel an inspection, I just click cancel. It confirms, do you want to cancel this inspection? Yes, I do. Just click OK. Now, anybody who's registered for your inspection will be notified. If I want to change the time of the inspection, just click anywhere in the time and use your little slider and click save. That will then change the time. And anybody that has registered for that inspection will be notified of the time change. So you don't have to be calling everybody that's inquired about the property, or if you had your times publicly advertised and someone saw it online and didn't log back into wherever they've seen it advertised, they might miss the inspection because they weren't notified of the time change. So that's how you can do that there. If you needed to change staff members, if Dua Lipa is busy that day and for whatever reason she can't do the inspection, just click on the listing agent's name and then allocate it to someone else. So let's allocate it to Harry Styles. Wouldn't that be a treat if he came to the inspection? So managing your inspections is pretty simple in the new UI, letting inspections. I would come and add this as my favorite. So 3 dots, cancel. You can merge inspections if you accidentally double booked the inspections, and you can add it to your calendar. However, as I mentioned earlier, if you go to people team and your calendar is there, you can already sync your calendar. Up on the right here, we can see all 90 days. So the last 90 days worth of inspections we can see. Just scroll down. We've got our 3 dots. You can send the agent report or record results. If I click on record results, it's going to take me directly to mobile ROL, where I can add in any further details of that open if I needed. So where I did that was on this drop down here, I went all 90 days, I clicked on the 3 dots and I clicked on record results. 3 dots. Now, fun fact, in Inspect Real Estate, there's multiple ways to do things within the system. You can add in your inspection from this space as well, but we always just recommend using the Create New button because it takes you to the same spot and it's quite easy, less clicks. Think about making your time efficient when using the system, rather than me coming to letting inspections, clicking on the 3 dots, new inspection. Why not just come to the Create New and do it from there? So up on the top, someone asked, I believe in the chat in regards to the Run Wizard, it looks exactly the same steps. This is just where you find it now. So letting inspections Run Wizard, add it to your favorites if you use it quite often, but the same steps apply. Multi-Run Wizard, same thing. You can select your properties. It looks exactly the same. Click Add to List. Click on Schedule. And then you can go through the prompts and start scheduling, adding in groups. I used to think about groups as days. You might too. So add in your groups, come down, click Next. It will start processing your run. So you'll probably be thinking, oh, wow, this looks pretty much the same. We'll just wait for that to work. There we go. And then you've got your group 1, group 2 up on the top. So nothing's really changed there. You would add in your inspector, the day that your doing your run, group 2, and then down below you can click on create. So again, not much has changed. I know that the team will be directing you to our help section, and throughout, which I'll come back to a little bit later down the track. But if you do get stuck, you're not alone with this transition. We have a ton of different resources that can help you navigate through this, and in the help section is one, or you've got the support button up on the top as well. Now, lastly, we're going to have a look at some reports, messaging, and your settings. So some of these areas are only accessible to diamond level users. So on the left-hand side under reports, this is where all of your reports are going to be sitting for the products that you have on. Let's focus on the letting one. If I click on letting, I can see my daily schedules. I can see my on-off lists and what hasn't been actioned, and also my off lists. Don't forget to action those, guys. That's where you can find them. Or your office reporting is going to sit up here. So your boss report, you can add reports. If you don't have your boss report set up, you can add that in there. If you are wanting property lists, if you still use rental lists, this is where you can find your rental lists and add in the reports to be sent to you. You've got your monthly reports, and also your owner reports are sitting here. So if you don't have your owner reports emailed out to your staff members, you can come to owner update summary and add the report. So it's either sent to the listing agent or property manager. So all of your reports are going to be sitting under reports, letting, and you can scroll through the top as to which reports you're wanting to look at, as well as your application BDM sales. All of your reporting now is consolidated into one section. With your messages, so on the left-hand side, this is where all of your messages are going to be sitting. Again, I really love this because it's consolidated in one central spot. So if I want to have a look at my messages that are pertaining to all the automated letting ones, I can click on this and I can see, okay, waiting not reg. I've got this gray arm that's populated out. I can review the message and also review the SMS and add my merge fields in. So probably still quite familiar. Edit message. Gray arm is populating out, so you know that you're in the tenant message. You can scroll down, review the message, your SMS, and add your merge fields. As well as registered inspected owner reports are going to be sitting here. Inspected tenants. So if you do have our to apply product turned on and you are sending post-inspection messages, obviously these need to be turned on if you want to send them out. But if you want to change the messaging, this is where you'll find them. And also your inspection reminders, which can be sent out to your tenants and or occupiers of the property, I should say, and any tenants that have registered for the inspection. This is where you can actually do that there. So messages, left-hand side, per product under letting, your application messages, your BDM messages, and sales messages. Let's have a look at our settings. So if I click on the left-hand side settings, under general, this is where you're going to find your SMS email log. If you'd like to do any forms integration or review your logos and colors, this is where you can do that there. So settings, general. Under letting, this is where all of your letting settings are sitting. So you've got tabs on the side that you can look at and review. Your delay times, your tenant questions, this all filters through into mobile ROL. There's certain settings here that you can turn on if it's applicable to your office. For example, what I did there is I just click save for automatic messages to go out on mobile ROL when you click save. But under settings, letting, this is where you can find all of your letting settings. So it's all grouped together, making it much easier. Under applications, this is where all of your to apply settings sit. So application defaults, application tasks, you can do tasks within the applications now. If you're sending out your applications to owners from the system. You can create owner PDFs or the application comparison once. Set it up in the back end so that every time you want to do and send a comparison out to your landlords, it's already done. You don't have to worry about ticking or unticking certain boxes. You've got your status rules that sit here. References, if you'd like to update and have automatic references sent out from the system, you can click on auto reference and start adding who you would like the auto references to be sent out to. And then you've got your to apply. If you scroll down, if you wanted to change what is required in the back end for your applications, this is where you can do that now, or change any opening cautions, required monies, and terms and conditions. So again, all consolidated in this one section in your settings. Your uploader, sales, BDM, letting, and applications. Very important in this admin section, if you would like to add in your new users. Again, this is pertaining to diamond level users. If you click on manage users, it takes you to the new user wizard where you can add in your new users. If you're here a lot, add that in as a favorite. Okay. So we're heading now at the end of our session. I'm going to do a little bit of a recap again, just so that you're comfortable. And I will also have a look at the chat just to see if there's anything there that I may be able to show you and see if I can answer some questions that you might have there. So let's have a little bit of a recap. So on the 6th of December, we're sunsetting this, and this is, we're sunsetting the old UI, and this is where you'll be coming now and viewing your new Inspect Real Estate. Global search bar. Search for your properties, people's applications. To the right, create new, where you'll be able to action all of your actions now. You've got tenant app and find me a tenant. Left-hand side, we've got our favorites page. Again, as per usual, in the old UI, you can rename it. It's the same here. Our dashboard. You can see our dashboard and we can customize this as well. Letting, your letting inspection summary screen. Customize your columns to have it suit to you. Pin your columns. You've got your 3 action dots where you can register tenants, find me a tenant. You can look at sending your owner reports from here or adding an inspection from these 3 action dots. Left-hand side, inspections. Inspections down below. Just change this to future. I can see all my future inspections, past inspections, 3 dots to cancel. Click in the time to change the time. Click in the listing agent if you need to change the agent. We have our run wizard, our multi-run wizard, and mobile ROL. Now, someone did ask, will mobile ROL look any different? It hasn't changed. It looks exactly the same. Okay, so that is the end of our session. I'm going to ask the team online, how did you feel that session went? Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable with the navigation? What we've gone through today is the system views and functionality. We've got our general navigation, create new settings and application. One thing I am going to point out to you, I'll just share my screen again and pop in the Inspect Real Estate. If you do get stuck or you're not sure about something, we do have our help section. We have our knowledge base. Now, in this knowledge base, think about it like a Wikipedia for IRE. If you type in inspection, it gives you all these articles. If you click into this, you'll see a step-by-step guide. You'll also, in some, see some videos, a quick 2-minute video. Or if you've forgotten something about to apply, You can see all of these articles from To Apply. So that is a really great source for you to go to. So on the left-hand side, help, knowledge base. We also have our Reapit Academy, which this is something that we would recommend if you do have new starters, or even if you want a refresher yourself. It's an interactive online learning center. It's self-paced. You can do modules at your own um, time. So yeah, Reapit Academy, and it's for all of our products, which is letting Uploader, pretty much everything that we um, use is in Reapit Academy. We also have our webinars like today that you've joined, as well as you've got our contact us, and you've got the support button up on the top. So that concludes our session today. We will be going through in a little bit more detail the To Apply interface on December the 10th. So that's part 2, which will be focusing on To Apply. Again, jump into the new UI, start playing around, switch it up, start getting a feel of it and getting used to it. And I love someone wrote that they're pumped for the new UI. That is awesome. Like I said, it can be really scary at the start, but once you start using it, you'll be thinking, oh, no more blue. Thank you guys for joining. I wish you all the very best, and we'll see you on the 10th of December.